Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review for today's, lunchtime news, I guess, press conference reaction, as Eddie has been speaking to the media ahead of the Cup final, which is in, a few days. The excitement is certainly picking up. There's no doubt about that. But I want to start off with congratulating Dan Burn. He is now celebrating an England call-up, so expecting a couple of weeks off for the international break. That's out the window now for Dan Burn. He has received an England call-up, which is absolutely fantastic news. Really pleased for him because, look, Dan Burn has taken a lot of flack, especially when he was at left back. This season, I think he's been outstanding. I don't care what anybody says. I think he's been outstanding. He has had, a little bit of difficulty trying to cover for Fabian Schär most of the season, but he totally deserves it. And yeah, Claire's right. Tuchel saying he could be part of the World Cup squad at the grand old age of 34. A centre-back, you can go on a few years. Look, there's some centre-backs across the world. Look how well they've done and gone on to playing into the late 30s. So anything is possible. Anything is possible. I'm not sure about Jordan Henderson being back in the squad, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. We've got three in there: Anthony Gordon, Tino Livramento, and of course now Dan Burn. Absolutely superb news. Over the moon for him. It's a big weekend for him, of course, with the cup final. Everybody is now focused on that. I've seen loads and loads of Newcastle fans taking photos of how they're getting down to Wembley via airport, car, train, of course. It is absolutely buzzing. Yeah, don't worry, I haven't forgotten Miley as well, of course, into the under-19 squad. Totally deserves that, actually. He's outstanding, is Lewis Miley. So, and of course, Lewis Hall will be back in that England squad next season. I have no doubt about it once he's fit again. But look, it was a bit of a different press conference this morning. Certainly wasn't expected. Half an hour started early, started 9 instead of 9:30. But they were Eddie only had 25 minutes, and then Bruno and Isak came in as well to talk to the press ahead of the game. So we'll cover that as well. But there's no doubt that excitement has ramped up tenfold since sort of even last night into the day. Once people start getting out the house, getting to the train station, the airport, the bus station, whatever it may be, to get to Wembley, that is when things start ramping up. And it certainly started today. Gutted that I can't be there, obviously, for health reasons. But you know what it is? I'll be commentating on the game, and I'll be there in spirit. I think anyone who's not at Wembley will be there in spirit anyway. Really urging the lads on to try and finally break this 70-year hoodoo and bring the trophy back to St. James's Park. I think we can do it. I don't know, according to you guys last night, when we did the preview, there was a lot of people said, yes, we can do it. There were some good scores coming in. Some people don't think that it's possible, but listen, that's their opinion. If you go off our recent form, you would think we're going to struggle, but it's a one-off game, guys, at Wembley Stadium, and it's got to be our time, surely. It is. I keep saying that, but I genuinely believe that it has to be our time. This is it for us. We can't be the bridesmaids anymore. We've got to go and finally do the business and perform at Wembley Stadium. But hey, it's bloody exciting. It really is. Now, Eddie started off talking about the preparation, saying it's been very good. We are positive. Our destiny is in our own hands. It's about us delivering a great performance. Indeed, it is about delivering a great performance. And the question is, can we go and deliver a great performance? Like I said earlier on, we haven't seen that yet. Many parts of the season that we haven't gone out and played with that kind of no fear element. I think we've given certain teams far too much respect this season, to the point where, we take our eye off the ball. And it just, when we do that, we do collapse. And I think we've seen it many times this season. But there's just something in my mind and in my heart, and certainly listening to the players and the manager this morning, that this has got to be it. This has got to be it. Absolutely. John says, if we can't raise our levels for this game, when will we? We can do this 2-1. How are the lads? Absolutely. Sean says, so sorry you can't go. Toon's biggest advocate, and good on you, mate. Thanks, Sean. Hasbo says, I hope we win on Sunday, but it's going to be a hard game. Hopefully we can get the job done, and I'm going to say 2-1 to Newcastle. Aaron says we should have beaten them at home, but Salah decided to cook in the second half. Well, Salah's been... Well, Salah and a number of Liverpool players have of course, been speaking ahead of the game since they went out the Champions League. And, they say all the focus is now on the cup final. It's a final they want to win. Of course they want to win. I've heard some people say that Liverpool aren't bothered about this, but I completely disagree with that. 100% disagree. Liverpool want this trophy. I mean, maybe not as much as we do because of the 70-year wait, but Liverpool will want the trophy. Arne Slot will want his first trophy in English football. He will want that out the way. And the fact that they've lost in the Champions League kind of, gives them bigger impetus to go against us on Sunday. It could play into our hands. They could be a little edgy, thinking, hey, we're out the Champions League. This is the first trophy kind of opportunity to win. So you never know. They might be a little off it. Hippie says 3 generations of Toon fans will be up for the match here in Sydney. 3 a.m. Monday, the fun will begin. Bloody hell. Hey, hats off to you Australians, I tell you. Well, not just Australians, but a lot of fans across the world who are getting up in the middle of the night to watch the game. It's incredible dedication, that, guys. It really is. Great show from Sella. Yes, it was. It was absolutely incredible. Spike says, don't care what the score is as long as we score more than them. Indeed. Listen, some of the score predictions that came in last night on the preview were a bit weird, I have to say. Some people think Liverpool will blitz us by 5 or 6 goals. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the lads are ready to go. And I love the consistent war cries from Bruno and the way Isak spoke this morning. They are fully focused on this, guys. You can bet your bottom dollar they are. I'm not even looking any further than Sunday, to be honest. I just hope we get the job done. Malcolm says, I love your channel, Paul. I've supported Newcastle since Jim Smith's days. 2 FA Cups and Charity Shield. We never turned up, mate. As much as you say I'm negative, get in the real world. Malcolm, hey, listen, I saw that Charity Shield performance was dreadful. Jim Smith, I was there as a kid. The Wembley performances have not been great. And I do think a lot of people do have to be in the real world and realize that, we haven't turned up at Wembley, but things in life change. Things completely change in life. And you know what? We could go there tomorrow and just, on Sunday, and put on a brilliant performance, an absolutely brilliant performance. We may not. Don't get me wrong. We may get beat, but hey, let's be a bit positive before we even go into the game. Connor Wilson is a new member of the channel. Thank you, Connor. Much appreciated, buddy. Welcome to Members Club. Don't forget, tonight at 7 o'clock, we have the TTR Friday Cup Final special. Dowsy's just gifted a Toon Review membership as well. Thank you, mate. Lots of fun tonight. Giveaways galore for members. Some fantastic prizes, and a big thank you to Spike Milligan for that as well. And, we've got some fun videos of, well, Susan's been doing our graphical work, let's put it that way, and football chat. So it's going to be a great show. So make sure you join us at 7 o'clock for that. Some wonderful stuff to give away as well in the build-up to the Cup Final. Pedro says, so when we win on Sunday, will Monday be a bank holiday? I have a feeling that, well, it's not official, but it might be in Newcastle, because they will really be a lot of hangovers. Even if we, it doesn't go our way, I still think there'll be a lot of hangovers in Newcastle. Hasbro says, I know it probably won't happen, but I would love to see Lewis Miley to score the winning goal. To be honest, I don't care. I absolutely don't care who scores the winning goal as long as it's the goddamn winning goal. It could go off a defender's arse for all I care, as long as it is in our favour and we win the trophy. It just, to see Newcastle win it, I wasn't alive. I haven't seen us win one of the big domestic cups. And a lot of Newcastle fans haven't. But incredible it will be. Robert says, best of luck to both teams, but another 74 years to go, Geordie Copite. Yeah. Liverpool fans are confident, but you never know. You never know. Paul says, exactly, Liverpool are not going to roll over and hand it to us, but this is one time we have to be strong. If we are, we will do it. I was at Wembley for previous FA Cup disasters over the years. It's awful not winning a final at Wembley. The build-up to it and everything is absolutely amazing. 2 years ago when I was there with my daughter, made a whole weekend of it. It was absolutely fantastic, apart from the result, obviously. And coming out of that ground, losing the game, you're completely deflated. You are. But this is what finals are all about. There can't be two winners of a cup final. But I just want us not to be the bridesmaids, guys, if that makes sense. It just too many times it's happened. Mike says, well, if the players aren't up for this game, and they will let themselves down and the fans, but we've got to believe that if we can win the cup, it's party time. Paul, you got to open champagne online, celebrate the win if it comes off. Unique one-off video for the champions, fingers crossed. Anthony says the last time we played okay at Wembley was against Chelsea in the semi-final when Rob Lee scored. We're due a performance there, 2-1 Newcastle. Yeah, it was a much better performance than that semi-final, wasn't it? And we've got to turn up in these finals now. I think that's the big thing for us. We've got to turn up in the finals and bloody win one. We really have to win one this time. Now, on the Carabao Cup run itself, he says, we've had a really tough run in the Carabao Cup. We've gone from round to round. There's been a lot less noise and emotion, and hopefully that helps us in our performance in our game. We have been very much focused on our game plan and are very positive. Now, interesting that Eddie sort of alluded back to the last cup run. And of course, there was a lot of sort of background noise. Our performance has definitely dipped. Now, I know our performances haven't been great this time around, but I'm not sure that's anything to do with the Carabao Cup, to be honest. I think our form has been very inconsistent all season. We start the season not great, not playing really weird football, but still getting a few results here and there. Went on that great win and run, and then now we're back in that phase of, well, which Newcastle United is going to turn up. But he says that the focus has been sort of week to week and round to round. But I think once you make the final, I think you do get distracted by it. I think that's just human nature. But you know what? I just hope that they've built that focus right up now and just go for it. Now, team news ahead of Sunday. Obviously, Lewis Hall and Botman are recovering from their operations and Anthony Gordon suspended. But apart from that, we have a full squad, guys, which isn't very big, however, but we do have a full squad, which is fantastic news for us, because obviously we're worried about players and who came out of the last game okay and unscathed against West Ham. It seems everybody came out unscathed, and we are ready to go. Pedro says the way Bruno and Isak talking in the press conference, we are going there on high and positive vibes. Peter says, I was at Wembley in 98, 99, and 2000. When we lost, I cried. It's not a nice feeling. It's not a nice feeling. Emma says, I would love to see Van Dijk sent off again by John Brooks. Zaki says, Liverpool will know we are going to give them a really good fight if we can get stuck right into them at the beginning. You saw when they played back in December at St. James's, they struggled. Yeah, I do believe we have to play the Newcastle way. Under Eddie Howe, the way that we've had success in the past was by the high press, the high tempo. We have got to go and do that against Liverpool. It's no good us just sitting back, letting them have possession, etc. We have to take the game to them, show a bit of determination and a bit of fight, because we let them into it too much. They've got the players to just play around us. Jordan says Liverpool are fatigued from the PSG game. We need to press them from the off, and also I believe we will win the midfield battle. Well, Eddie Howe was talking about that, and he thinks that the extra time won't make any difference at all. He says there's plenty of days off to regain your energy and focus. So he's not even looking at that as a reason why we could possibly beat Liverpool. He said it's not even in his thinking. I mean, that's fair enough. He's sort of in the game day in, day out, isn't he? So he kind of understands that situation. Hippie says, we seem to rattle Liverpool quite often, so I can't see why we can't just rattle them again and take the cup. Dowsy says, experience will help too. Some have lost finals, etc. Some have won. This is our chance. Legends to be made and go down in our history books. Yeah, well, Bruno was asked about that as well. Look, Claire, I know you said leave the fanfare till we win, but we you know what? Why? Just let's be confident. Let's just be confident. If it doesn't work, it doesn't happen, then we'll talk about that after the game. But we have to be. We know we've got players that can be on that are on that pitch for us on Sunday that are game winners, no doubt about it. We you know, despite the injuries and the suspension, we have still got very, very good players on that pitch. It's all about the work rate and the mentality for me. The mentality has to be right as soon as we come out that dressing room. Learn from 2 years ago and just play our best game. Play our best game. Sound like a bloody motivational speaker. Now, on the team selection, he says there are always decisions to make. That will be no different for this game. We don't have a huge pool of players. We have a very tight squad. We're in a good place after the win on Monday night, and that was a big thing for us. The players are in a good place, and everyone wants to play in these bigger games. Now, of course, he was asked about the situation with Harvey Barnes, and he was very complimentary about Barnes' performance at West Ham. Said he did really, really well. But again, he finished that off with if he plays. Now, obviously, he said the players don't know the starting lineup, the goalkeepers. He was asked about that as well. But he said he will play the best team he thinks that will win the game. I think we all think that Nick Pope's going to start, whether we want Nick Pope to start or not. But listen, whatever 11 players go out on that pitch on Sunday will get 100% back from the fans. We might be disappointed with a few of the players that are in, but listen, they're representing Newcastle United in the cup final. And if it doesn't work, then we can talk about that, like I say, after the game. Did certain decisions work for us? How did the manager perform with those decisions? And then we can go into that. But look, at the end of the day, Eddie is looking at it. Eddie's got a chance to be a legend here, and the players do as well. And it's a difficult situation because, as he said in his press conference, some players will be let down. Some players will feel hurt that they're not in the starting 11. However, the players that aren't in the starting 11 still play a very important part in the game itself by supporting those players that are on the pitch. We have to have the support both on and off the pitch. And that led him on to obviously talking about the fans. He said they always are a 100% backing from the fans. We know from the last time we got to the final, the feeling of support and unity. We are absolutely going to need them. We need every bit of help we can to push ourselves over the line. So I guess that's the manager's rallying call now as well. We've seen Bruno many times coming out this week and making quotes, which I think are more led towards the players themselves. And now Eddie's talking about the fans and what a big part they will play in the game and a sense of unity. And I think that's what we all need to do as fans, whether you're at the ground or watching it on TV. You know, it doesn't matter where you are. You just give them everything. And I know, you know, people say, oh, well, yeah, but the fans can't hear you from like a pub or at home. It doesn't matter. Just when you're in that situation, you can't go at the game. You've just got to try and think as if you were there, and how much the lads, look, everybody will be jumping around the pubs and living rooms, etc. if we do well. So, Joe with a super chat. Thank you, Joe. Last week I was preferring 5 at the back. Now I want us to go for it. They are favourites, but the gap feels like it has closed slightly into them. Yeah, well, it's been 100% confirmed this morning that Trent Alexander-Arnold will miss the game. Obviously went off injured against PSG. He won't be recovered in time. There's nothing on Konate yet, I believe, but we'll again, look, we have to forget Liverpool in a way. It's all about what we do on Sunday. Because look, the pundits and everybody like that in the build up to the game, when it all starts on Sunday on the TV, you know it's going to be Liverpool this, Liverpool that. What can Liverpool do? Liverpool's players, all this crap, and then they'll turn to Isak and go, "Oh, it's another audition for Isak for Liverpool." You just know what's going to happen. So I think we as Newcastle fans, we have got to push the boat out for us. Everybody else is going to be talking about Liverpool. Let's focus on Newcastle United and absolutely go and do a job. And upset the Merseysiders and upset the pundits, because there's no way that the pundits want Newcastle to win this game. I guarantee it. Obviously Gary Neville, the Manchester United side, may look at it and think, I think Gary Neville in the That's Football podcast said that he does want Newcastle to win because obviously he hates Liverpool. So I can imagine. And as it says, oh, yes, they can hear you. Good vibes travel. Even further, if my neighbour gets my belt of vibes and her neighbours get hers, and so on, them vibes hit Wembley. Absolutely. DK says, let's hope if England play a team, their strikers don't move around too much and can't head the ball, as Burn can't run and for some reason now can't win headers. DK, can you not just be complimentary, mate? He's in the England team. He's in the England team representing Newcastle United, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. Why be sarcastic about it? I don't get that. I really don't. I think you should be, he's got certain amount of abilities. He's got some negative aspects to his game, but the fact is he's in the England squad. So I'm really chuffed for him. I won't be listening to a minute of the Liverpool Love Fest. Well, you know where to be, Claire. You know where to be. 3:30 start for us on Sunday. We going on an hour before kickoff. So 1 whole hour build-up. We normally do half an hour in the Premier League, of course, but 1 whole hour build-up to the game. And then, of course, full commentary of the game. So watch it on the TV or wherever you watch it and listen to our commentary so you don't get the biased crap on the TV. Best way to watch it. Don't forget the multiple mentions of Arsenal and Manchester United too, of course. Zaki says, we are the underdogs. Let's go upset the big boys. The Cups always bring upsets. Matty says, been very pessimistic for the last few weeks, and now the nerves are starting to hit. Yeah, once I think Cup final weekend gets to the Friday and everybody is starting to travel and obviously putting photos, etc., on social media, and of course, everybody is reading that social media. Then the Newcastle fans who aren't going, their nerves start kicking it out. It's just tremendous, man. It is just tremendous. So I actually, I love watching and looking at the people's photos and clips of them getting on the buses and planes and trains and stuff. It's just, it helps with that build-up, doesn't it? K17, if you're enjoying the stream, please hit the like and subscribe to the best NUFC channel on YouTube. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. I would do what K17 says. I think that's a good idea. Now, Eddie did speak about Dan Burns' England call-up, and he said it's an incredible moment for Dan. There is no one more deserving, in my opinion, such an inspiring guy and a talented player. It's a great football story. Dan has had to do it the hard way, coming through the leagues. He is the model professional. He is so committed to what he does. His character is so stable and so level. I'm so pleased for him on a personal level. Fantastic, really, from Eddie Howe. But that's what I mean about Dan Burn, guys. You look back at Dan Burn's career, and he has had to do it the hard way. He's gone and earned his corn, if you like. He's done it in the lower leagues. He's made that rise up, and finally, at the ripe old age of 32, he gets an England call-up. I think it's brilliant. He's worked his socks off to get where he is. He's suffered the hard times, down in the lower leagues, and when he was at Darlington. I mean, did he ever think that when he was at Darlington he would suddenly become an England international? Of course not. But what Dan Burns done is he's got his head down. He's listened to all the coaches, etc., and he's got his just rewards, in my opinion. Whatever you think of Dan Burns' form, you've got to say he's done really well. He's done amazingly well to get where he is. And I think it's brilliant. Yeah, Blythe as well. Absolutely. He would never have thought in them times that he was going to be a future England international. When he got released from us as a young kid, you just don't think like that, do you? But hey, he hasn't let it get to him. He's just put his head down, and boy, has he worked hard. Boy, has he worked hard. By the way, I put something out on X this morning, just as a joke, the usual joke, saying I can't believe. Well, my post was, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I can't. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Chris Wood deserved an England call-up. Now, obviously, I know Chris Wood is a New Zealander, but as usual, the bites you get are unbelievable. It's like you just throw that fishing rod out and woof, you get a great white shark immediately. Some people realized straight away that it was a sarcastic joke and laughed along. But some people like, oh, you've had a Castor there, Paul. You've done this, you've done that. No, I haven't. But there you go. Right, now, Bruno and, of course, Isak spoke to the media, which was a little bit of a surprise this morning. But nice to see them both. And certainly, big smiles on the face. Really ready to go. Bruno, basically ahead of the final, says, feeling good. Good opportunity for ourselves. Everyone is excited. As a team and a city, we have worked very hard to get here. And hopefully we can finally get this trophy back to Newcastle. Now, one thing Bruno does know is his Newcastle history. And he said that when he came to the club, he was going to make a very strong point of learning the history and the vibe around Newcastle United. And that's exactly what he's done. And what I like in that first bit he said there is, as a city, we've worked hard to get here. So it's not just the club. It's not just him. It's not just the players. It's the city. And he knows how important this is to not just the club, but to the area and to the supporters around the world. He knows how important this is. He says, we are more relaxed, but we know if we win, what it will mean to the fans. We want to make sure everyone in this city is happy. We have to play our game, nothing different. And hopefully everything would be good for us. Our confidence is very high at the moment. So whether that's just Bruno, again, inspiring the players, but to be honest, when you listen to him talk now, I think he inspires a lot of the fans as well. He's had his questions over captaincy, etc. However, this is completely different in my opinion. This is Bruno really rallying everybody, rallying the troops to jump over that wall and go for it and just destroy Liverpool, or just beat Liverpool. I mean, destroy them, but beat them. Again, he mentions making sure everyone in this city is happy. We just want to make thousands and thousands of Geordies happy. My message is to stay positive. We will do our best to bring this trophy back to Newcastle. We are seeing this as a big opportunity to make history for this football club. Now, you don't get more inspiring than those comments there from Bruno, in my opinion. I think it was fantastic that he sat in front of the media and said that. It was absolutely brilliant. And the fact that he wants to make thousands and thousands of Geordies happy, he talks about all the time, making sure that the players are in the right frame of mind, bringing this trophy back. And I think he knows in his own head that if they win this trophy, legends are literally made. Because it's been so long since a domestic trophy was won by Newcastle United. This is a chance to make history and become legends. And they've got that opportunity now on Sunday. And I genuinely think we are going to take this. I'd be gutted if we went out there on Sunday and just were flat as a fart. But there's just something telling me that they won't be. That they know they can't go out with that sort of droopy attitude, if you like, and not be on the ball from the first second. Kev says, it does worry me a bit that this talk might just weigh on them a bit. We have to stay totally focused on winning the game and not on what winning the game actually means. Well, in a way, yes, Kev, I do agree. But in another way, I don't, because I think the players, that gives them motivation, extra motivation for me, knowing what it will do for the supporters in the area. I don't look at that as a negative. I think, if anything, if things aren't going our way in the game, the players themselves need to refocus and think, right, come on, the fans are all here in the ground across the world cheering us on. We can't let them down. Let's just forget what's happened so far and let's really keep going. So I think it works in our favor a little bit for them to recognize just what it does mean. They can't let it go over the top, of course, but I think they have to use that as a passion, as passion for the badge, passion for the fans. Use it, but don't use it in a negative way. Obviously, use it in a positive way, and I think they'll be fine with that. Now, Isak, he turned around and said, "I feel good, and I'm really excited for the game. The best way to prepare is to train as normal. It will come down to what we do as a team. And that is all we can focus on. I am excited, but focused on the job. I just want to be the very best version of myself. I have high ambitions. I am trying to create my own history at Newcastle. Happy with what I have done so far, but always looking forward." Now, there was a lot of questions aimed at Isak about his future, and he kind of just brushed them away all the time. I think, ask one question. Ask one question about his future and then move on. But there was 3 or 4, and I got a bit irritated at times, and I'm sure Isak himself, he had to explain numerous times that he is focused on just this season. There's no contract talk started. He did confirm that, but he is happy to look at it at the end of the season and then go from there. It's all about what they do this season, and Isak was very, very vocal in that, just saying he wants to get on with playing for Newcastle. He said so many times that he's happy at this football club and he wants to win things at this football club. That's it. Just move on. He said what he said. Nobody. He's not going to turn and say, "Oh well, you know what? I'm looking at maybe Liverpool or Arsenal." I have to say, he's not going to sit there and say that, is he? And the fact is that Newcastle United have placed a huge transfer fee on him. So there's not many clubs in this world that can actually afford Alexander Isak. But it was interesting that he was asked about being does he feel like he's the best striker in the world? And I think if he turned around and said yes to that, I think wow, I mean that would have been giving himself a massive pat on the back. But he didn't obviously say that. He said he just tries to be the best player he can be, and scoring goals for Newcastle United. That's what he needs to do. And it was interesting when the sort of question was flipped and he was asked about Bruno. And he praised Bruno's leadership, said he's come on leaps and bounds this season as a leader, as a workhorse on the pitch. He said he's happy now that Bruno's playing in the number 8 position because it means he's playing closer to him and can get balls through to him and hopefully score some more goals for Newcastle. So it was a very, I just think sometimes they have to just steady on with the questions for Isak about his future, because we're starting to get in the realms of all the other pundits down south now, where they just can't stop talking about Alexander Isak's future. His future is here. And that's exactly what he was saying. He was saying that I am thinking no further than this season. I want to win trophies with Newcastle United. I don't think he could make it any more clear. He said, I'm perfectly happy where I am. He loves his teammates, and quite clearly the teammates love him. So let's just leave Isak alone about his future. Concentrate on the bloody game, because he's really excited about playing the game. He was also asked if he has any fear when he goes out against any particular individual. And I think maybe they were trying to stir up a little bit of a Van Dijk kind of rivalry thing, but he didn't say that at all. He said he doesn't fear anybody. Not Van Dijk, not anybody. He goes out to play his own game. And he knows that defenders are going to, that's a defender's job to stop him scoring goals, and they will do anything possible to stop him scoring. But Isak will also do everything possible to score. So, I think it was brilliant the way he just sort of, he just cancelled that out, didn't he? It was absolutely brilliant. But what I love to see about those two this morning is that they had big smiles on their face. Bruno was his usual self. He was very jovial, plenty laughs from the captain. And clearly very excited about the game. Now, obviously, going back to Kev's point, it may be a bit of a worry for us if the game doesn't go in our favour. And how will that affect our mentality? Because Eddie was asked how he felt after the last game. And he was devastated. And it took him a while. It took him a long time to get over the pain. And naturally so. It's a cup final. It's a big opportunity to win a cup for Newcastle United. But how will it affect the mentality? But that kind of talk for me is for after the game. If it doesn't go our way, let's just concentrate on being positive before the game and give our lads everything we've got as supporters. for me and Billy on Sunday, we'll be commentating on the game. It's so exciting for us to commentate on the game, and watch it with you guys. And it's an incredible experience. As I say, devastated I can't be there, but to actually commentate on the game and be a commentator for you guys and share the experience with you guys, it will be pretty special. You guys that aren't going to the game, I hope you do spend the cup final with us. And, that's all we can ask. And then we will go through the emotions together as a community on this channel. But you viewers and subscribers that are there will be giving it your all as well. And that's the thing. Everybody will give it their all. Now then, Doug, who, of course, is a Liverpool fan. Afternoon, Paul and Toon Review fam. Slot confirmed that Trent is out and Quansah will start at right back. It's going to be a hell of a final. Is there any news on Konate, Doug? Because I haven't seen anything in the press about Konate, because obviously he went off. I take it he just went off with cramp and he'll be okay to play. But if you can let us know, mate, because I heard nothing in the press regarding Konate. Oh, and who do you think will start up front for Liverpool, Doug? Could it be Nunez? Apparently he's fit. Okay, Konate is past fit. Right. I thought, obviously, cramp. It was a very difficult game against PSG. And Liverpool did a lot of defending, didn't they? But it is, time is ticking on and on now, guys. It really is. It's almost. Graham says Konate hasn't trained all week so far, but hopefully will train today, according to Twitter. Interesting. Konate will be fine, says Doug. Well, maybe if we go at him early on, trying to get him tired. Doug thinks Gakpo will start up front for Liverpool. Mehul says, morning from Orlando Magpie. Massive. Good morning, Mehul. Hope you're well. Very early start there in Orlando. Right. That's it for this show. But hey, that doesn't stop the build-up, guys. It doesn't stop the build-up. There's so much going on social media in the build-up to this game. Take part in it. Let's all have a great, great weekend. And that's what it's all about. This is what this community was built for, to enjoy roller coasters with Newcastle United. So far, as a community on this channel, we haven't had the chance to celebrate a victory in a cup final. This may change on Sunday. It's going to be a cracking game, a cracking occasion, and that's what we all need to build up for. And Anderson's right. We've got to milk this. This is what it's all about, getting the cup finals. Milk the hell out of it. So I can't wait for tonight's show as well, guys. 7 o'clock. Don't forget, TTR Friday Cup Final Special with me and Billy. Loads of prizes to give out to members. We'll have a couple for viewers as well, but mainly for members. So if you're not a member, get yourself signed up to membership for a chance of winning some fantastic stuff. We've got some funny videos, little clips of all of us doing funny dances. Susan's been working our AI magic again, and some of them are absolutely hilarious, which I'm sure you'll enjoy as well. And good football banter and a good laugh. That's what we all need going into this weekend. That's what you're going to get on the show tonight. So make sure you all tune in for that at 7 o'clock. And then don't forget Sunday. Well, how can you forget? Sunday, 3:30 p.m., Match Day Live. And that was build up to the game with team news, everything like that. And then play-by-play commentary of the game from 4:30. So it's going to be a cracking Sunday afternoon. Can't bloody wait. Make sure that you're all with us for that one. If you're not at Wembley, watch it on the telly. Have TTR on for the commentary. You will not have a better Sunday afternoon. But thank you very much for watching this afternoon, guys. Thank you to channel sponsor Mamaroo Records again for all their help and support with the channel. Really do appreciate it. If you're ever in the Whitley Bay area, pop in and see Steve at Mamaroo Records. Tell him you're a TTR viewer and he'll do you a cracking deal on vinyl, CDs, music merch, sport merch, gift cards, everything. But if you can't get into the shop itself, check them out online. That is pinned at the top of the description. Enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon, folks. Keep the excitement building up, and we'll see you back here at 7 o'clock tonight for a really good night build up to the cup final. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Come back and check out some green.